Hi everyone, welcome to this informative webinar on SecurIT funding opportunities. So we'll just wait a few minutes so all the participants can join the meeting. So thanks for coming to learn more about the opportunities that the EU project SecurIT brings. Just some quick information, you can ask your questions on the question tab on the right side of your screen. Do not be confused with the chat, but you can ask your question directly in the question tab. So I will be presenting the context in which this SecurIT project is included, and then my colleagues will be presenting also all the evaluation process, the open call process, and will give you also the challenges that the open call is addressing. So I am Adeline Glezal, EU Project Manager in SAFE Cluster, a cluster based in Aix-en-Provence in France. And my colleagues are Emmanuel Calran from Systematic. She will be in charge of the logistics of the platform. And Thierry Louvet, Director of International and European Affairs in Systematic.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
And Ursula Sobek, which is a EU Project Manager at Funding Box in Poland.
Hello, good morning.
So we'll just wait a few minutes so everyone can join. So this session will be divided into two main moments, presentation of the call, and then we will be answering all your questions at the end of the session. So you can write down your questions and we will be answering them at the end. All right, so the SecurIT Open Call webinar is organized before the matchmaking session of this afternoon, which is a session that can enable you to find a partner, to form a consortium, to be able to apply to the SecurIT Open Call. So the agenda of this morning is as follows. We will be explaining a bit the SecurIT Open Call and introducing all the EU project and requirements. Then we will be going through the selection process and the criteria, and we will give you some tips to apply to the Open Call, and then a Q&A session. So SecurIT project, what is it about? So I will be brief on this because it's just a framework in which this Open Call is organized. So SecurIT is an EU project which is funded by the European Commission. It's coordinated by SAFE, and we are coordinating this project with 7 other partners, mostly clusters. So we have LSEC from Belgium, the Pole SES from France, L3C from Lithuania, HSD from the Netherlands, Systematic from France, Sensem from Denmark, and Funding Box from Poland, which is helping us with all the open call process. So SecurIT has 3 main objectives. The first one is to support European security SMEs to develop innovations for safer and more resilient cities and territories. It is also to co-finance and support the development of innovative projects, collaborative projects, allowing the prototyping and experimentation of solutions in security while taking into account all the ethical, legal, and social challenges related to these technologies, and also to promote cross-border cooperation between SMEs and other innovation actors. How will this be done? Via the allocation of funding according to the principle of cascade funding, which is a EU funding instrument, and when it will be done during 2 open calls, and the first open call is currently open, and the deadline to submit your application is set on the 26th of April. So the cascade funding and why you should be interested into this kind of support program. So SecurIT is the EU project that has applied for a call of proposition to the European Commission, and we act as a recipient of funds, of EU fundings. And then we will be distributing this funding, 75% of the budget that we got, into funding vouchers for SMEs. So this is done according to some open calls. So the open calls will be open for 3 months. So the first one is open until April, and it has started in January. To submit to get a funding vouchers, it's being done through a light application form, like 10 or 15 pages, no more. The evaluations of your proposal are carried out by independent and experienced experts. Then you will enter into a 12-month support program to develop your 12-month project. You will get funding as lump sum, which means that we will not be asking for invoices or detailed financial reports. Then we will be contracting from SAFE to you on behalf of the consortium. There will be some regular reporting. The intellectual property rights will be managed through a light consortium agreement, and the double financing for the same thing is prohibited since it's public funding. Regarding the SecurIT first open call. So for this open call, we will be selecting up to 21 projects, so which represent 42 SMEs, because the consortia needs to be composed of at least 2 SMEs. We are proposing 2 funding instruments, the prototyping instrument and the demonstration instrument. So the funding for the prototype is up to 74,000 euros, and the demonstration, the funding is up to 88,000 euros. The sum needs to be divided between all the partners of the project. It doesn't need to be divided equally, but there can be an SME that can get more than 60,000 euros. And then when you get this funding, you enter into a 12-month support period where we will be following and monitoring the project. So what are we looking for? We are looking for consortia of at least 2 SMEs. The SMEs must be based in one of the EU member states or in one of the associated countries to H2020. The full list of this list of associated countries is available on the European Commission website. Regarding the additional requirements, so we are looking for a consortia with at least 1 SME that should be a technology or IT solution provider. There shouldn't be any capital or personal link between the consortium partners, and of course it's recommended that you have experience in the project domains. So how can you find a consortium partner? So we set up some matchmaking sessions. The second session is organized this afternoon. The link is on the SecurIT website, but if you haven't had the chance to register for this session, you can still check on the SecurIT website. We developed a catalog for solutions where there are over 80 solution offers from European companies. So you can check if you can find a potential partner through this catalog, or you can also contact us directly so we can help you to find a partner according to what you are looking for and what kind of skills and experience you are looking for. So the ideal type of project. So we are looking for a project that addresses the challenges of the domains that you will see in a few slides. And we are looking for a technology and system related to some specific challenges in cybersecurity or digital applications applying to security solutions. So we have 2 types of instruments, as I previously mentioned, and the demonstrator are expected to be tested in operation environment. So we expect you to have in the application phase a TRL, so technology readiness level of minimum 5, and when you exit the support program after 12 months, you can we expect you to have a minimum TRL of 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, according to the instrument. So how do you choose the right instrument? So it depends on the maturity of your solution. So if you're interested in building a prototype, apply to prototyping instruments. But if you already have a prototype and you want to pilot them, you should apply to the demonstration instrument. So I will leave the floor to my colleague Thierry that will precise all the challenges of SecurIT.
Thank you very much, Aline. I hope you can hear me okay. So Adeline has given you the overall background, the context of the open call for SecurIT. What I will concentrate upon are the so-called challenges that have been defined. In fact, the idea there is that we'll only fund certain types of activities, and this is the purpose of those challenges, which have been defined, by the way, with the partners in the consortium, but also with end users. There are, in fact, a total of 3 domains which have been identified. You can see them on the slide. And incidentally, by the way, all this information that we are presenting today is available on the guide for applicants. So I really invite you to read. If there is one document you have to read, apart from the catalog of solutions for find partners, is the guide for applicants. That is really essential to understand what we are looking for. So 3 domains. Domain number 1, sensitive infrastructure protection. Domain number 2, disaster resilience, and domain number 3, public spaces protection major events. So you have obviously to choose one of these domains in order to apply for the SecurIT open call. The next slides, I'm not going to read them because you could probably read them by yourself. I'll just make 1 or 2 examples. But again, this information is available on the guide for applicants, and in particular in the annex. I think, Ursula, it's the annex number 2, if I remember correctly. At the end, there's 2 annexes, and the annex number 2 gives basically all this information plus a bit more details. On the sensitive infrastructure protection, as you know, this is all about the security of sensitive sites. And this is obviously linked with recent events around the world, in particular in Europe. You have here the type of targeted end users. So obviously, if you are looking to submit a proposal, either a prototype or a demonstrator, it might be a good idea, if you have experience, to refer to that experience in that domain, or to have in your consortium an end user, which would be, which will have helped you to define basically the actual needs for this kind of project. There are domains and subdomains. You can see them on the slides, and examples of challenges have been indicated there. You can see, for instance, in terms of operations, the optimization of communication networks and alert system, very relevant, obviously, for sensitive infrastructure protection, and so on and so forth. On the second domain, disaster resilience, again, very relevant nowadays, very important domain for what we're looking for. It's the need for instruments to improve prevention, to improve preparedness, and the needs for technologies for first and second responders. And as you can see, again, we have examples of the type of targeted end users, first responders, cities and territories, obviously. So this is very relevant. If you have experience in that domain, if you have direct contact with relevant stakeholders in your country that will be interested by what you will develop, that will obviously be very well evaluated in your application. Again, you have some subdomains that are listed here under disaster resilience. Again, you can see communication and warning systems are very important. Incidentally, probably you've seen yesterday there was an incident in Japan, another earthquake, and I believe these were vital in order to warn the population and to take precautionary measures. So this is obviously, again, very typical, not to mention other crises and wars in Europe. In terms of the third domain, public spaces protection, this is, again, something that will be very relevant in a couple of years' time when we have the Olympic Games in France. So this will be a very, very important domain, and there will be a lot of needs for that. So it's worth paying attention to this. Again, you've got some subdomains that are mentioned here. And you can see command and control, in particular, decision-making support are listed here. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. These are only examples. This is only to give a sort of an overall framework. And again, this information is on the guide for applicants. I think those slides will be made available, and you'll have all the replay from this webinar and the previous webinars, on the SecurIT website. So do pay attention to this information. That's important that you refer to it. That evaluators are aware that you've tried to answer the challenges that we have defined for you. And I believe this is all as far as I'm concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thierry. So this is my turn. My colleague already gave you overview of the project, general scope, goals, and about the challenges. And now I would like to give you some overview of the selection process and how we are going to choose the best proposal for funding. As a recap of the previous part, here you will find the links to the main project website, also to the website where you can find the application form and all necessary documents. So please, before applying, read carefully Guide for Applicants and also frequently asked question documents to find all necessary information and answer to questions that you might have during the preparation process. Okay, so regarding the evaluation of your proposal, as you can see on the slide, there are different steps, different stages of this process. Soon after the call will be closed, we will do a first eligibility check. And if we receive a lot of good proposal, we will apply a pre-scoring. I will share with you the criteria of those a little bit later. And then the next stage of evaluation process is external evaluation. So each proposal will be evaluated by 3 independent experts. And then during consensus meeting, project partners together with experts decides about the best 31 proposal that will be invited to jury day. And jury day is a very important and interactive stage of the evaluation process. During this meeting, probably it will be a physical meeting, you will have chance to present your project, answer questions from jurors, and give overview of your team. After this important step, the final decision about who will be selected will be taken, and you will be invited to prepare for sub-grant agreement and to start the support program. So let's check what type of criteria we'll take into account. So we define 4 main group of criteria. First, eligibility criteria, then pre-scoring criteria, which will be applied only in case we receive a lot of good proposal. And then awarding criteria, those criteria will be used by external experts. It's divided in 3 groups: excellence, impact, and implementation. And we also define bonus criterion for international consortia. So if you are going to apply as consortium composed of partners from different European countries, you will get 1 extra score here. Also, in case of ties, we will take into account transversal criteria. We have here environment and low carbon economic contribution, equal opportunities and gender balance, as well as social impact. So let's check what we are going to check in eligibility criteria. So first thing first, the European dimension. So we are going to check if your project can benefit not only to you or sector, but can benefit to all European Union economy and society. Of course, your proposal must be submitted on time and using our online application form. Please remember the deadline is on 26th of April at 5 o'clock. All questions within application form should be answered. And also, you can submit only 1 proposal, taking into account both instruments, you as single SME or you as a consortium. If we detected that more than 1 proposal was submitted, then only the last edited will be evaluated. Your application must be prepared in English, and you should declare that there is no conflict of interest between you and any other SecurIT consortium partner. Also, you shouldn't be under liquidation, or you shouldn't be defined as enterprises in difficult situation. And you should have rights to the work or license that you are going to use during the project implementation. If we receive more than 60 eligible proposals, then we will apply a pre-scoring based on 8 pre-scoring questions. You can see them here, and you will also find both questions in application form. So please pay attention when providing answer to all of them. So first is dedication to the project, team skills, your experience in the market, scalability of your solution, market opportunity, status at technological level, human resources that will be used for developing your solution, and consortium composition at geographical level. Regarding the awarding criteria that will be scored by external experts. Here you can see the criteria under excellence section. All criteria can be scored from 0 to 5. And under excellence, we are going to our external experts are going to evaluate your proposal, taking into account ambition. So they're going to assess if your project is beyond the state of the art, how innovative it is, how different in terms of level of innovation on the market. Under impact section, we are going to check what's market potential of your project, if it's solve only your problem or problem of your customer, or it could be scaled. What's your strategy for commercialization, and what's the competition on the market, and how your product will differ from the competitors. Under implementation section, we will check all aspects related to physical or implementation of your solution. So we will check the team, if your team is balanced, if it's skills and experience to be able to deliver the project. We also check if you are going to have necessary resources, like if you're going to have infrastructure, for example, or if you're going to have some license that will be necessary for implementation of your project. And also we are going to check the risk and how you are going to manage the risk that can appear during the project. And also in some cases, in some challenges, we also take into account how you are going to address some legal and GDPR issue. After having this scores from evaluators, we will calculate the final scores and apply a threshold. So you should receive up to 10 points to be able to pass to the next stage. And during next stage, we will add 1 bonus score for consortia composed of partners from different European countries. In case of ties, we will apply transversal criteria to solve the ties on the ranking list, and also the impact score, implementation score, and excellence score in this order. If you manage to be selected to jury day, you will receive €1,000 for preparation of your pitch, of your video, and for covered travel costs if this event will be organized physically. Probably it will be. Up to 31 projects will be invited to give a pitch, present a project in front of the jury. And please remember that participation in jury day is mandatory to be selected. We will also ask you to deliver your video pitch in advance to give evaluators your time to review your pitch and prepare a question that then will be answered by you during the session. And to be able to participate in jury day, we also ask you to sign mini grant agreement to be able to receive this €1,000 for participation. And this €1,000 is per consortia, per each consortium, not per consortium partner. How to apply? You should enter SecurIT.fundingbox.com, and then you will find 2 blue buttons, 1 per each instrument. Please select the one that fits you the most. And after login, start filling the application. Please remember to fill all necessary sections and submit before the deadline. Remember that you can submit your application and then you can come back and edit as many times as possible as you wish before the deadline. How you are going to do it if you are a consortium? So the best way is to appoint one of partner to be leading partner of consortium, and this partner should take care of filling in the application form. The deadline is on 26th of April, and then we will apply external evaluation phase, and we will invite you to participate in jury day if you will be successful. We're planning to organize jury day at the end of June, probably in the week starting from 20th of June. If you will be selected, you will be invited to provide some formal documents to allow us to perform a legal check, an SME check, and ethical check. And then we would like to invite you to sign a subgrant agreement. It should be in July, sorry. And then you will be able to start support program at the beginning of September. Support program will last 12 months, and it will be divided in both cases, in prototyping and demonstration instrument, by 2 stages, equal stages, 6 months each. At the beginning of stage 1, you will be asked to prepare some kind of follow-up plan. There will be a document that you include your goals and milestone and what you are going to achieve during the support program. And the middle of the support program, we will do some kind of review to check your progress. And then at the end, we will check if you deliver what you promised to be able to release the payment, the final payment. After approval of your follow-up plan, you will receive 20% of payment. And at the end of the project, after delivering successful delivering of your solution, you will receive remaining 80% of the grant. On this slide, I would like to give you some tips how to prepare a winning proposal. So first, invest your time to think about your solution and choose between 2 funding instruments. It will depend on how far you would like to go with funding and what is the stage, maturity stage of your idea during the application phase. And also check the eligibility requirements, check if there is no conflict of interest, and if you have a consortium of at least 2 SMEs. Read the subgrant agreement, it will be available soon on our webpage, and try to provide in the application form as many details as possible. So try to be convincing for evaluators, avoid general statement, just provide detailed information related to your solution. Also, I encourage you to check the payment procedure to not be surprised later during support program. And of course, build your team and your consortium. If you are going to apply to demonstration instrument, also plan how you are going to perform demonstration, where, with whom, what you will need for this part of the process. Remember to address one of the challenges and focus on being as innovative as possible. And of course, remember about European dimension of your project. If you will still struggling with some issue, if you will have any question or will need some support on guideline, you can always refer to our website, so main project website and OpenCore website, or you can contact us directly in case you would like to ask some more questions. So I guess this is it from our side, and we are happy to take your question now.
So we have a few questions. First one, would cyber securing our product be a viable project in any category? The computer is what is being secure, but it may later be able to surveillance. This requires more work through Adeline or Ursula, could you answer?
So if I understand well, this will be okay, cyber securing your computer. Well, you need to make sure that you address the right challenge. And if you're, I mean, this needs to be a bit more developed, maybe. So maybe you can also contact us for more information to make sure that you fit into this call. But as long as you have targeted a challenge and that it matches with what is expected, it could be fitable. So you can also contact us to develop your what you really want to do.
Okay, thanks. Now we have a question from Luis Almeida. Willing to know if Institute for Applied Research and Technology Transfer are eligible to apply for this call.
So the call is addressed to a minimum of 2 SMEs, but you can also include in your consortium some research institute, but only the SMEs will get some funding. So you can be part of the consortium, but you will not be funded if you are not an SME.
Regarding the number of SMEs, Gabriel.
Sorry, Emmanuel. Sorry, I think there's a question from Casper before that. No, I can see on my list of questions. Casper Kongstad Madsen. I think it was the first question that was asked. Can you see it?
Yes.
I can take it if you want. I can take that one.
Go for it.
Go for it. No, it's not an easy one. And obviously, Adeline and Ursula, if you have different opinion, please do. But if it's a purely defense-related application, in my opinion, if I've read the guide for applicants correctly, if I see if I understood correctly the purpose of SecurIT, it should not be a purely defense-related project. Of course, we are in a domain where there is so-called dual-use technologies. In other words, technologies developed either in civilian context or in the defense-related context can be used. But here, if you only target the defense sector, I'm not sure that, and remember, everything is ranked, so I'm not sure it would necessarily be viewed positively. It would be better if you focus on a civilian site, sensitive protection of civilian sites, nuclear plants, so on and so forth, rather than purely military sites, even though the technologies used would be very similar, obviously. I don't know if Adeline and Ursula agree with me. And bear in mind also that there are, in fact, at EU level, the European Defence Fund. There are funds dedicated purely for defense purposes, so we don't want to be obviously competing with the funds that are targeted specifically for defense matters.
Yes, I agree. So what we can suggest here is to reshape a bit your idea to be able to target not maybe military defense sector, but any other sector. And this way you can have your solution founded.
Okay, so next question from Gabrielle. Will group of more than 2 SMEs receive a better evaluation than group of exactly 2 SMEs?
I can take this one. Basically, there's no extra score for having a bigger consortium, but during the evaluation, we will take into account your experience, your team. So if, for example, on 2 SME lacking some knowledge, some experience, it's really good to have somebody else in your consortium. But if you can cover all the aspects, you have good team, you have good references, you have, in case of demonstration, you have an idea how you're going to demonstrate your project inside your consortium, this is okay, and you will be scored great without having extra SME in your consortium.
If I may just add something to what Ursula has said, what matters is obviously, apart from the basic criteria you have to adhere, the minimum of 2 SMEs and so on and so forth, is the nature of your project, the content of the project, which will be viewed positively. It's not because you will have 3 or 4 people in your consortia that will make the difference. It's what you are aiming at doing, and obviously the basic criteria. And bear in mind also that the funding is what it is. It's it's not a lot of money. It's sufficient, I think, but it's not a lot. So the more you distribute between partners, the more complex the coordination of your project will be. Bear that in mind also. So I would say try to first of all adhere to the current criteria, the basic criteria. That's what matters. So you will not be, it will not be viewed negatively if you only have 2 partners, of course. Don't know if you agree with me, Ursula, but you have more experience in open calls than I have.
Yes, I agree totally. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I think this answer to Daniel's question as well. We wanted you to make it more clear about the necessity to form a pair with another SME to get the grant. So I think we answered.
I hope so. Yeah, this is a requirement, basic requirement that only consortia can apply. So yes, you need to find your partner to be able to apply, to be eligible.
Okay. Alessandro would like to know regarding the jury day, do all consortium partners must be physically present?
No, we recommended that both partners will be present during the jury day, but minimum requirement is that at least one representative of your consortium will be present at physical jury day.
A question from Jean-Loup. Is the lump sum provided at the beginning of the project?
So as you can see on the slide, lump sum is divided by 2, let's say, installments. So first will be paid, 20% will be paid at the beginning of a project, just after you deliver follow-up plan, but you should do it within the first month of the project. And then the rest of the lump sum will be delivered at the end, when you deliver successfully what you promised in follow-up plan.
There's another question from Jean-Loup, which, to be honest, I do not understand. For prototype project, should the prototype provide SecurIT project? I don't know what you mean by that, Jean-Loup. I don't know if you can clarify.
Yes, so in the meantime, we will answer to Paolo. Are there any other opportunities to meet other company besides the afternoon meeting? So I think Paolo wants to know if we will have other matchmaking session or other opportunity to be connected with partners.
I can take this question. So we organize 2 matchmaking sessions, and the second one is this afternoon. So yeah, it should be too late to register, but you can check. I put the link on the chat of the catalog for solutions, where you can find a potential partner. There is a list of companies with what they offer, what are their projects and solutions. So maybe you can have a look at that. Otherwise, you can still contact us through our contact page on the SecurIT website, and tell us exactly what kind of skills you're looking for in a partner, and we can assist you in finding the right partner to form a consortium to submit your project.
A question from Gabriele. Do we have to address exactly one of the proposed challenges, or can a proposal address more than one challenge?
Should I try to answer that one? But please, Ursula and Adeline, don't hesitate to correct me or add something. Exactly, no. I mean, obviously, there is room for maneuver. Again, the domains are and the examples are there to help you want to understand what the project, what SecurIT is trying to is looking at funding. And I would say the answer to your question is that if effectively the prototype or the demonstrator can address more than one domain, all the better, I would say. Whether that's feasible, I don't know. I'm not necessarily a specialist, so I don't know whether that is possible. It's again, make it simple. Try to if you think that it's if you can justify, if you can argue that you can address more than one, why not? But obviously, try first of all to focus on the domain. I know that the domain which is the sensitive infrastructure protection and the one which relates to public spaces protection, there can be some overlap, obviously, depending on the definitions. But so exactly not. There is flexibility there as long as you can justify and argue, then why not? But it might be challenging. I don't know.
Yes, and in the application form, we already considered this situation. So you will have one question about the main challenge which we're going to address, and then below you will find a question about any other challenge that you can also solve by this solution. So you can do it within the application form and provide explanation below as well.
I can see that Jean-Loup has rephrased this question. I'm still not understanding it. Should the prototype be provided or left to SecurIT to provide? I presume that should be the English, the correct spelling in English. If I understand that correctly, you're asking if we have to provide, or is the consortium? In my opinion, it's the consortium that has to provide the prototype. That's the end goal of the project, in the same way that the end goal of the demonstrator is to provide a demonstrator. If I understood the question correctly, I know, Adeline, if you know, Ursula, if you have the same understanding of that?
Well, I understand his question is also, should he leave the prototype to SecurIT consortium? Maybe.
You mean it's in terms of ownership? In terms of ownership? Yeah. Ah, okay.
I think. Wow. So no, it's your own project. It's your own project. Exactly. So we will not be asking to
keep it. We won't. It's the idea is to serve a purpose for an end user in the end, or several end users. So SecurIT will not own anything. It's your work. It's the result of your. We're only funding, so to speak.
Okay, it seems there is no more question until now.
Are there any in the chat which have been made by mistake? No, it looks like it's okay.
Also, I wanted to give some recommendation to the applicants. You should have a look at the application form. You can enter the submission platform and try to start drafting an application. So you can see a bit the questions and the criteria because everything is on the platform and you can enter your application as many times as you want before submitting your applications. So it can give you an ID before submitting and leave you some time so you can consult all the questions already.
That's a very good point that Adeline is making. Don't leave it at the last minute. Have a look at what is requested. Start filling it in. The platform is fairly flexible. It allows you to save everything. You can even, I think if I remember correctly, download on PDF the actual form, so you have it, in a paper format. That's very, very important indeed. Yeah, it's a good tip.
Yes, and you can also submit your proposal and come back to it before the open call deadline and re-edit it again. So don't afraid to submit. You can always come back and improve before the deadline.
We have a new question regarding the slides from this meeting. So, Emmanuel, I think you confirmed that the slides will be sent to the participants.
Yes. And you will also have an access to the replay.
Okay, if you have questions in mind, not now, but if you think of something, you can still contact us later through our contact page on the website, or yeah, you can contact your WeFund cluster if you are from a cluster. So do not hesitate to ask us for assistance or how we can support you to draft the best application possible. Okay. I think we could end this session now. So for those who are registered to the matchmaking session, we hope that it will be fruitful and useful for you. Otherwise, thanks everyone for your attention, and do not hesitate to contact us if you need to. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and good luck with your proposal.
Thank you. Goodbye. Good luck, respectively. Yes.
Goodbye.